Sai Ram. Just to recollect what we were discussing last week, Swami had gone on to explain what is it to reach God. Mahameva Ishyasi. Swami gives various ways, various aspects of that. Swami says it is a type of mukti. Swami used the Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Saicha. That is living the same world as the Lord, living close to God, taking the form of the Lord, and then finally merger. And then Swami also says, how do we attain that merger is by recognizing the divinity in everything around us, and our senses should be able to feel and experience the divinity around us in this world. And Swami says, through that process, we will reach Saivijaya, or the merger, complete merger with the Lord. Those were some of the points which we discussed last week exhaustively. I will pause here and I will ask Sister Kalyani to read so that we can continue from where we left off. Saira.
You will come near me. You will approach me, Ma Me Vaishyasi. That is to say, you will understand my mystery. You will enter into me. You will achieve my nature. In these terms, acquiring divine nature, existence in God, and unity in God are indicated. When one has attained the state of realizing the divinity in every being, when every instrument of knowledge brings the experience of that divinity, when it alone is seen, heard, tasted, smelled, and touched, then one becomes undoubtedly a part of the body of God and lives in Him and with Him. When this duty to your own progress is taken up, you will get new strength at the very first step. You will thrill to a new and purer joy. You will taste the fullness of bliss, and you will be refreshed by a new holiness. This dharma is not laid down or recommended only for the extraordinary among people. It is within the reach of all, for all have the hunger for God. All have the discrimination to discover that there is something basic behind all this change. Even the most heinous sinner can quickly cleanse their heart and become pure by surrendering to the Lord in anguished repentance. Therefore, the Lord's command is that each person should pursue the special dharma laid down for them. Each should plan their life according to the spiritual foundations of their culture. Each should give up the objective vision and listen to the voice of God. Those born in India, Bharat, should deserve the privilege by listening to the voice of the leader of India, Gopala, Krishna, and manifest the divinity latent in them. In every word they utter, every letter they write, every wish they entertain, every thought they frame, and every act they do for the winning of gross things, such as food or shelter or health, only then can this Indian nation demonstrate to the world the excellence of the ancient religion, Sanatana Dharma, which is its special gift to humanity, and ensure peace for all mankind. Acts in line with that dharma alone can confer the strength of spirit that can encounter all crises and achieve victory. The sacred Gita grants that boon by indicating the way clearly.
Thank you very much, sister. I think we should mainly focus on the first paragraph, I think, last week. If anyone has something to discuss there, please go ahead. Otherwise, we will go to the next 3 paragraphs. I think because there was so much packed in these paragraphs, we said we will go paragraph by paragraph. And I think we discuss on the first paragraph. Last week, if anyone has something to say or ask, please go ahead. Otherwise, we will go on to discuss the second and the third paragraph, I guess. Sairam, anyone? I guess, okay. I think because we discussed it. We'll, and one of the points I thought I will highlight is Swami is calling it when this duty to your own progress. Swami is treating it as dharma or kartavya, duty, something which we have. Everyone has to do, the atma dharma or swadharma or whatever. Swami says that should not be neglected. I thought I don't think we discussed that as much, last week. I don't know whether anyone would like to comment on that. Otherwise, we will go to the next one. And Swami says, again, Swami is talking about this dharma is not laid down or recommended for extraordinary. Everyone, it is within the reach of everyone, and everyone should work at it. I think that's what Swami says. I thought we can discuss that because the second paragraph is actually about this dharma. Sairam, I will open it up, please.
Hi, Ram. Before, I guess it's still in the first paragraph, that sentence where Swami saying, when one has attained the state of realizing the divinity in every being, it alone is seen, heard, tasted, and smelled, then one becomes a part of the body of God. I was just wondering if that's exactly what it says in Telugu, because I feel that, like, even if we don't realize that we are living in the body of God, or like that we are God, isn't that already the case, even though we may not realize it? Like it seems to say that once you do all this, then you become a part of the body of God. But aren't you already a part of the body of God, even though you may not realize it?
Yeah, very good question, sister. If we are part of God, then how do we become part of God? I think that's your question. Yeah. Anyone would like to comment?
I think that Sairam, I think that everyone already a part of God, but we don't realize it. See that we just, even like some people we see as an ordinary people, that we see some people that we like them and some people we don't like them. Some people we hate them. That's our human nature. But like but I think that the way we mention it, the Swami mentioned here, that you could feel everyone as the same. You don't feel any difference. You see, brother, I don't know, you feel the same. You see sister, whoever, like another, even though people we unknown we see on the street, we could see them as equally. And that point, you realize that the divine in you. That's Sairam. That's how I understand this. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment?
So, Saram, brother. So, whatever we learned before, if we take the ocean vaporize and become cloud, and from the cloud we get rain, from the rain we get river, and river go and merge with the ocean. So even though river has different taste, when you merge with the ocean, it take the same taste. There's no difference between the river and the ocean after that. Same way, we are divine sparkles. So we have to understand that concept. So we have to follow the spiritual procedures, whatever the duty as assigned to us. Definitely we can see the same dignity everywhere once we understand we are not the body. That's what even Lord Krishna was teaching to Arjuna. You are not the body. So do your duty, then you can merge on me. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else? I think, Kalyani, I think your question is, I think I will ask Auntie to read Telugu, but I think your question is becoming a part of what? I think that's, okay. In Telugu, Swami has used the word, oka bhagamu vale, I think, జీవుడు ఈ దేహమునందు నివసించగలిగే. The thing is, the way Swami has written in Telugu is, if we learn to live as if we are a part of the Lord, okay, as a part of the Lord. So that means we are, but are we living like that is the question. You know, see, it's like, you know, I live in a house, okay. If I live as if the house, I'm part of the house, then I will do things in the house. You know, I will not, if I don't feel a sense of ownership or belongingness, then we will not even look after it properly. Does it mean that we are living in the house? We are. Okay. So it is just, we are anyway there, but are we behaving as if we are living in that house? That determines, you know, I think, you know, parents will tell, you know, teenagers come home and, you know, they don't behave as if they live in the house. They will throw things here, there, everywhere, and then they go away. Okay. They treat it like, you know, they come for a, you know, short while. So the thing is, a sense of belonging is something which we have to cultivate. So, but I think in the translation, that does not come through properly. Swami says, like a part of the Lord's body, you should live. Okay, that is the answer. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the problem in that many things get lost in the translation. So Swami is not telling you are outside, you are becoming. No. You, once you start living there, as living this world as if you are part of God. First of all, we need to recognize the entire universe is God. Until then, you will not feel that also, isn't it? Mm-hmm. When you feel that the entire universe is God, then you will also behave as if you, I'm in that, I will believe. So it's a complementary, as Brother Dasan has said, and I think Brother Vardhan also said, it is we coming to realize that. One is, even this Saloka means we are living in the same world as God. But is it the same? Swami sometimes says people think they are near Swami, living physically, proximity is there. But are they feeling closer? Are they feeling dearer? Without that, you are not really near. There can be two people sitting next to each other, but each one is in their own world. They can be so far and distant. So it is how we live. Is what Swami has said. Okay, I hope.
So Sairam, I'm sorry, sister. Okay, go ahead, Auntie.
Sairam, in Telugu, there is a condition, Kalyani, what you said, you know, a part of the body of God. To attain such a state, we have to have fulfill the condition. What are those conditions? Swami says, జీవలలోను దైవానుభవము శాశ్వతమైనప్పుడు, జ్ఞానేంద్రియములు అతన్నే చూడగలిగినప్పుడు, ఓన్లీ వెన్ all our gnanendriyas, the senses, they should be able to see only God in everything, divinity in everything. And that daivanubhava, that experience of Godhood, it should be permanent, shashvatamainappudu. Only then you can see, you can undoubtedly become a part of the body of God. So that condition has to be fulfilled before we say that we are already part of the body, but we have not realized it. And when we are able to see everything, every day, in every human, in every being, the divinity, only then we can say that we are part of the God. I hope I think, is it correct, Harun?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it. We are all saying the same thing, but I think Kalyani's question was, do we become, or if we are not? That was the question.
Yeah.
See, there's an English Swami also quotes this. Swami says, being is in the becoming.
Yeah, being in the becoming.
Being is in the becoming. Okay, that's an English quote.
Becoming comes later.
Yes.
You
So,
have to
so the
become.
thing is that process, that
process.
becoming process only will make you be there. So it's not that you are not something and then you become something. You are, but the being is not. You have to become. Being, the becoming means you have to become the being. You understand? That means you transform your tendency, how you feel different. That's all. You're already there. I think that was your question. Semantics, sometimes words can trouble.
Sairam, brothers and sisters, I think that the main reason for a little bit of the unambiguous of the maybe little bit of doubt why the sister Kalyani got it, because it says then one becomes undoubtedly, even without the word of the undoubtedly. I believe it will provide the same meaning. Then one becomes a part of the body of God and lives in him and with him. Because of the word undoubtedly, anyone can easily interpret that, there must be something, maybe if we have gone through that one, then only it will become part of the body of God. Maybe that may be the underlying reason, for the doubtness of that, maybe the meaning of that sentence. I took in that way why Swami said, undoubtedly, already, according to Swami's teachings, or in the other, Vahinis, we already learned that one becomes a part of the body of God. Even if we realize or not realizing, we are part of the body of God. The body, mind, intellect, and everything, it's part of the body of God. But only when we realize, we will really feel it. But maybe that is a reasonable, questioning about this sentence, when I look at it. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, sister. Actually, Swami is asking a question. Sandeham endulak.
So, Sairam, brother, so if you want to be part of the God means, so you have to be changed like God. That means you have to develop the love that thousands mothers love, people say. That love, when you develop, you will see the same divinity everywhere. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, the word Sandeham enduku. Sandeham means, doubt. Where do you have that doubt? Swami is asking. When you are able to live the life of, if you want to become the body of God, and if you want to live in him and with him, when you fulfill all these conditions, automatically you will be. There is no doubt about it. That's what Swami is saying. There is no doubt about it. That's why that word has come, undoubtedly.
Thanks, Auntie.
Brother, can I ask you a question too in regards to the same thing? It says when a person realizes the divinity in every being, okay? when every instrument of knowledge bring the experience of the divinity. What is meant by what is every instrument of knowledge? We have learned about before, seen, heard, taste, now. But what is Swami is referring here? Every instrument of knowledge. Is that is something?
See, Swami used the word Jnanendriya. Jnanendriya is translated as instrument of knowledge.
Okay.
Generally, the five senses are the instruments through which you perceive the world.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is
but there's mind also. You see, I think we in Sandhya Vahini we discussed this. Swami says even the mind is also considered I think an inner instrument.
Inner instrument.
Antakarana, you understand? So that also is an inner instrument of knowledge is there. Okay. So it's not only the external, I think we discussed this also last week. It is the senses just collect information, but there's something which processes that is residing in the Antakarana, the mind, which is the one which can process the information coming also. So they work together, sister.
Okay,
So
okay, thank you. So, so only when we realize the divinity in everything by the mind and the entriyas, five entriyas, then only we will become a part of God's body. Am I right? Thank you, Simon.
Not become, we will realize that we are part of
God. Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so we'll go to the next one. Swami is telling that everyone can become pure. And the word anguish, repentance is mentioned. Kalyani will ask the question. I think I will ask Auntie to read. Auntie,
Yeah. Dharma. ఈ ధర్మము అసాధారణ గుణములు గల వ్యక్తులకు కోసమని సృజింపబడలేదు. ఇట్స్ నాట్ మెంట్ ఫర్ ఆల్ extraordinary people. It's not only for extraordinary people, but మానవ కోటికి. It is for the common man also. మానవ కోటికి వివేకమును కలిగిన ప్రతి మానవుడుకు భగవత్ రతి గల ప్రతి వ్యక్తికి, the one who is devotee of Bhagawan, ఈ ధర్మ సంబంధముతో అతనిని చేరగలదని భగవానుని వాక్కు మహాపాపాత్ముడైనను సరే పరమాత్ముని హృదయపూర్వక పరితాపముతో శరణు పొందినచో శీఘ్రముగా పరిశుద్ధుడగును. Yeah. What was the question?
No, it says, Lord, no, I am just anticipating the question from Kalyani. That's
okay. Okay. Yeah.
She will ask surrendering to the Lord in anguished repentance.
Anguish and repentance. హృదయపూర్వక పరితాపము. That's the word here.
Yes.
హృదయపూర్వక పరితాపంతో శరణు పొందినచో. With real repentance, that comes there, no? Repentance.
Hridaya Purvamaina has been translated as anguished. Here, that is the problem. Okay.
No, around paritapam. Paritapam is anguish.
Okay, then where is repentance, Auntie?
Paritapam is anguish.
See, even you can read that Mahapapi Aina.
Paramatmani హృదయపూర్వక పరితాపముతో శరణు పొందినచో. That's all the sentence says.
So even the greatest sinner, he basically, I would say, remorse may be a better word, Auntie.
Paritapam.
Remorse or repentance. You surrender to the Lord. See, we make a mistake, for example. So we just surrender to the Lord, say, Lord, I have done this. Okay, and then then Lord will say, I will, no problem, I will take care of it. I think that's what Swami is talking about. It is possible. So even for a sinner, it's possible. That's what Swami.
Possible.
Please,
That's all.
please go ahead. Kalyani, you had a question.
What does that word mean that you said, Hridaya?
Hridaya Purva. It's
Heartfelt.
heartfelt.
Heartfelt, sincere.
Hridaya Purvaka. Because the paritapa has to come. See, Hridaya Purvaka means it should arise from your heart. Okay. Swami says there sometimes from the mind also see feelings arise. Okay, but what rises from the heart is pure. Okay, but the mind will just go on.
Sometimes we say sorry, just for sake of saying sorry, but it is not from the heart. It's not coming sometimes. Okay.
So it should be heartfelt, but not necessarily. You don't have to be anguished about it.
Yes, heartfelt repentance. Okay, I think that is better translation. Sorry, Auntie.
Correct. Correct.
Paritapa means you feel a sense of burning. You understand?
Like
that means what? Pardon?
Is it like the word tapas or?
Yes. It comes from the word tap. Tapyati means to burn.
To burn. Okay,
so that means you should feel it so much that your body should feel it. You know, that kind of if you want to call it a repentance, you really want to set it right. With that sense, if you surrender to the Lord will take care. So you don't have to worry that even if you're the greatest sinner, it will happen. The greatest examples are Valmiki, Angulimala, all of that. Swami has talked about them. Greatest sinners, they murderers, robbers, they were able to transform themselves because of just that. So he's saying when such people have reached, why can't you? Everyone can reach. I think that's what Swami is trying to drive home. Because sometimes I think Swami is telling this because we say, oh, we can't, it's too difficult for us. He doesn't want us to give up. He says it's within the reach of everyone.
It's like a U-turn, that you did commit all the sins, but the point you realize that I made all these sins and you surrendered, but you never go back to those things and you go on straight and God take care of that. That's right, Sairam, I think I did.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. See, sometimes there are stories in students who go and tell Swami, I am bad, I have done this. Then he said, you realize it? Okay, now that's enough. Don't do it again. Go on, And that is the type of, Then we will not do it, as Brother Vardhan said, it's a U-turn. You don't think twice.
Yes. They call it paschatapam.
Paschatapa.
Paschatapa.
Yes.
That's the word.
Yes, paschatapa means repentance.
Repentance, paschatapa.
Actually, feeling bad afterwards. Swami says that Dharmaraja suffered from that a lot. He does something and later he regrets. Swami says Arjuna was a little different. He anticipated it in advance. That's the Geetha was given. I think Swami may be talking about it later. So I think next paragraph also we should discuss that each person should pursue the special dharma laid down for them. Each should plan their life according to the spiritual foundation of their culture. Auntie, can you just read the Telugu ones and then?
ప్రతి ఒక్కరూ వారి వారి స్వధర్మమును ఆచరించుటయే జగన్నాథుని ఆజ్ఞ. దట్ ఈస్ లార్డ్స్ కమాండ్. వారి వారి దేశ నాగరికతకు పునాది అయిన ఆధ్యాత్మిక తత్వమును ఆశ్రయించి భౌతిక దృక్పథమున జనించినందుకు భారత నాయకుడైన గోపాలుని పలుకులు క్రోలిన వారై ప్రతి పని ఎందును, ప్రతి మాట ఎందును, శృతి వ్రాత ఎందును, ప్రతి భావం ఎందును, ప్రతి కోరిక ఎందును, కడకు ఆరోగ్య ఆహారములందును దైవత్వము తాండవింప చేయవలసినది. In every action, in every thought, in every word, you have to manifest the divinity. Ade Jagannath Agna.
Sairam, I have many questions in this really one sentence paragraph. What would be the special dharma? And the sentence starts with the Lord's command is that each person should pursue the special dharma laid down for them. Is this special dharma, it ties in with the maybe the if it is a male or female, that kind of dharma, or the varna dharma, you know, if it is a Brahmin, they have to do maybe the spiritual things, or if it is some other category, they have to do their dharma, because in the Dharma Vahini we have looked at intensively in detail all kind of different dharmas. So Swami is referring to that sort of dharma in here. Each person should pursue the special dharma laid down for them, and even in the next the part, each should plan their life according to the spiritual foundations of their culture. So if I am, if I come from a the different spiritual foundation than another one, so I should plan in such a way it would go along with my spiritual foundation. That means that I shouldn't select a different spiritual path or anything. Then my third the question or concern, each should give up the objective vision. What is Swami referring in here, the objective vision? Is there any subjective vision too?
Yeah.
Maybe we can discuss a lot of things in here.
I think the first question, sister, I think, sister, you have asked, you have packed your question. We will tackle one question at a time.
Okay.
And I think the first one is you asked is, what is the Atma Dharma, special dharma you asked?
Yeah.
I don't think Swami has used the word special anywhere in the Telugu. Swadharma is the word Swami has used. God's command is that everyone should follow their own Swadharma. Okay, Swami has said that. But you can see, I think this has to be read in consonance with the previous paragraph, where Swami has said what should be the Swadharma already, which is seeing God, divinity everywhere. Okay. But I don't think Swami has used the word special. Auntie, you can correct me.
Excuse me. Here Swami says, Bhautika Drikpatamuna Janiyinchinanduku. That can be, what is the translation here in English? Bhautika Drikpatamu.
It's not translated, Auntie. Bhautika means related to the world.
Basically, yeah, secular world.
Drikpadam.
Drikpatamuna Janiyinchinanduku. You are born in a
particular
body.
Yes.
Bhautika Drikpatamante. You are born
within a certain context.
Okay.
Bhautika also means natural also, Auntie, is it?
Yeah, naturally also.
Natural, yes.
Brother, it says dharma laid down for them. Them is for everyone, this dharma is laid.
Yes.
So it's look like a varna dharma and
Ashrama dharma,
yeah,
yes.
and the Sri dharma and Purusha dharma.
Yeah.
So dharma Vahini part will come. Thank you.
Exactly.
Saira.
Each one has to follow according to the stage of life. Their Swadharma is there, particular dharma. I think last time also I mentioned about it. For all our, each one is placed in a different situation and in different stages of life. According to that stage, we have our own dharma and we have to follow that. Apart from Atma Dharma, we have our regular secular life we are leading, and we have our dharma. A student's dharma is different from a householder's dharma. A householder's dharma is different from a sannyasi's dharma. So there are different stages. So everybody has to follow that dharma where they belong to. Sairam.
Okay, Brother Tasan, you have a question?
Yes. Okay, Saram brother, if we have main four varnas, so if you are born on that particular varnas, you have to behave according to that one, whatever the task assigned. If we take Archana, he born in Satriya, so their duty is, their dharma is to protect the country and the people. Thank you, Saira.
Yes, brother. Thank you. I think, yes, go ahead, Kalyani.
Is it possible to disregard any of the other dharmas, like your Varna dharma or Ashrama dharma, and just pursue the Swadharma? Or is that not possible?
Swadharma is same, Kalyani. Swadharma is the dharma according to the Varna, according to Ashrama. Whatever you are following is, that is Swadharma, your own dharma. Swadharma is not different.
So I think the Kalyani's question, Auntie, is, see, Swadharma is, Swami has already described one aspect. The foundation of Swadharma is that we are divine. Okay, every other piece actually is built on top of that. So if the foundation is not, I think that is that the question, can we follow? The thing, the foundation should be, we should do, before we do anything, we should feel that we are in this world which is divine and we are a part. Okay, that has to happen. But on top of that, there are other, place, situation, our own, that, after all, aren't we doing things like that? Whether we like it or not, we have to be doing what we have to do. So you cannot neglect it. Many people, what people say is, I am following the Swadharma, Atmic Dharma, but I will do anything. Okay, so that cannot work. Because then Swami will say it's a pseudo philosophy. I think that's your question. Can we ignore the worldly dharmas and just focus on the Atma Dharma of, realizing the Atman? Swami said you cannot, without your external senses also being part of that. Okay, and the external ones are governed by the Desha Nagarika. As Swami has used to, that doesn't come through here in the translation. Auntie, you can
just... culture. It is written. Puna Nagarikataku Punadi aina Adhyatmika Tattvamano.
So Punadi is the
foundation.
The Adhyatmika is the foundation, and then they go ahead.
Should be the country spiritual foundation.
Yes.
What is spiritual foundation again, please?
Your Atman.
Okay. Thank you.
That's what Adhyatmika.
Tattvaman. Punadi aina Adhyatmika Tattvamanu Ashrayinchi Bhautika Drukpatamanu Janiyinchinanduku. You have to listen to Gopala, what he is trying to say. You have to listen to Krishna. Arun, what I think is, generally though it is the foundation is Atma Dharma, we generally refer to all the duties which we do as Swadharma.
Yes. So I think Swami's point is, Arjuna, the problem Arjuna was suffering was, he was neither following Kshatriya Dharma, nor was he following Atma Dharma. See, I think the next paragraph Swami will say. The thing is, he first of all doesn't understand that he is divine. That foundation is lost. Then on top of that, he doesn't want to be a Kshatriya. But he's imagining that he is doing Swami in one paragraph is saying, Pandita will never cry, but you are crying.
Yeah.
One who is wise person will never cry. Then why are you crying? You are crying because you think you've forgotten that you are not the Atman. So that Swami says is foundation. On top of that, you have to do your own dharma. So those are the lessons for Arjuna. See, first you you have to understand that you are Atman. Then you function as Kshatriya. That is your duty. Okay, so you cannot neglect that. I think that's Swami is explaining that to us here. So that means in our, say, unfortunately today we'll say, oh, if someone else can do, I also can do that. Okay, you just can't do it, because you may not have the nature, you may not have the ability, you may not have, So Swami says to a great extent, you need to your own culture. That's a Desha Nagarika. I mean, the place where we're born and things like that. Okay, so I think both cannot be neglected.
If there is ever like a conflict between your ashrama dharma, for example, and the swadharma, wouldn't the swadharma take precedence?
Of course. The Atmic Dharma is the foundation. So can you say that the foundation and the walls have, there can be conflicts? No, the walls will not stand if the foundation is missing.
Yeah.
Okay. So whatever said and done, the walls have to adhere to the foundation. You cannot stand separate.
The second question which Sister Anandi asked is spiritual foundation. That's what we were discussing just now. Spiritual foundation of their culture, Swami says.
The Swami has talked about culture. There's a discourse maybe. Swami says, my students are, they think they are very smart. Okay.
Sakuji.
Okay, see, Swami says, sometimes I tell them something and then they try to be smarter than me. He says, to talk to the students, he was telling. He says, Swami has said there is only one caste, there's caste of humanity. There's only one religion of love. Okay, they parade this and then they tell, it's okay. Yes, I am born a Hindu, a Brahmin, but I can marry a Muslim. I can, marry a Christian. Like that people talk. Okay. Then Swami says, what about culture? You cannot forget your culture. You can't be something which you are not. So we cannot conveniently choose a philosophy and interpret it, is what Swami was saying. Follow whatever you are grown up with, because if you do not, there will be conflict later. There will be conflict because the culture is different. You cannot become something which you are not. I think that's...
yeah.
I guess I'm a little confused about that sentence as well, about following their culture, because can't that then open up this doorway to say that, oh, well, in the Western world or in this country, maybe the rules that are in India don't apply, or those kind of things?
Exactly. You know why that will arise? Because the Adhyatmika foundation is missing.
It's different.
See, for example, if I say, okay, Western culture is to drink. Okay, let's say, they think nothing wrong with wine, for example, or they eat meat. Okay, So the problem is now I am born in a with an Indian heritage. Okay. I can adapt it as long as that practice is supporting a spirituality. And there's a spiritual significance to that. Then that's why Swami has said foundation is Adhyatmika. So you cannot adapt something which is not your own natural. So the problem is the way the word culture is used. So the way Swami uses and the way common usage is very, very different. When for Swami, culture is Samskriti. That means refinement. Refinement from a spiritual perspective. So that is where many people say, oh, we can adapt this culture. Then it is not possible. First of all, what is that culture you're adapting? What are the foundations, spiritual foundations of that practice itself? Okay, and Swami is very, very, that's why he will say a Christian should become a better Christian. A Hindu should become a better Hindu. That's all Swami says, you know. Can a Hindu suddenly become better Christian? You cannot. You just cannot. Can a Christian become a better Hindu? That's also not possible. But the thing is, they can take spiritual principles from each of them and practice. So we should not, that spiritual foundation is the underlying thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will just stop here. I will open it for others to share whatever they want to say.
Sai Ram, this is Saku auntie. That's why Baba says each person should plan his life according to the spiritual foundation of his culture to avoid confusion.
Yeah, correct.
Can there be an exception in this regard? I just thought in my mind that, say for an example, the former, we will take the Abdul Kalam sir, he came in a different, really, very, I could be wrong. My understanding is he hailed from a maybe fisherman heritage or something, but he was the president of India, and he fly really high in all kind of aspects. So if when I think about that one, whether I have had the question about whether whether really it should plan their life according to maybe the spiritual foundation. Swami is referring just to only a religion, or in all kind of perspectives. Maybe a culture consists of maybe religion, maybe the education, and so many things comes under the culture. So I will really accept the brother Aruno's maybe explanation and everything about maybe religion. If I am in a certain religion, first I should be really with that religion rather than moving to another one or something. I 100% accept that particular point. But the culture, when we say culture, it takes many different dimensions. So that's why I thought in my mind whether there are any exceptions to this particular point.
Yes.
Good question, sister. I will open it up for others. Are there exceptions? Can we be the exceptions? And what does it mean to be an exception?
Yeah,
I think those are the questions. Okay, I will ask everyone to share their thoughts.
I think Dr. Abdul Kalam had a different bringing up. Though he was a fisherman's son, he was much exposed to the Vedas and other things around him. I think when he was a small boy, he used to get into, I mean, with good conversation with people who are pandits, who are scholars about Hinduism. I think he understood very, very clearly when he was, even when he was a child. So even though he was born in a Muslim family, his adaptation to the culture of India was, I think, was responsible for his outlook in later days. Saira.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Anyone else? Okay, I think it's a very good question from Sister Ananthi. I think Auntie Mani has already given a good explanation. See, Abdul Kalam was a fisherman. Can he become a president of the country? I think that's one question. The second question is a Muslim person. How did he adapt Hindu practices or whatever? You know, those are two questions. I think that's the question you're asking. If anyone asked Abdul Kalam when he passed away, what is your religion? He would have said, I am Muslim. But he is a person who came to see the best, the spiritual truths of other religions, and he adapted them within his own confines. Okay, number one. Was he efficient? See, doing a job is not dharma alone. Okay. See, if you, what does a fisherman do? Fisherman is a Vaishya, actually. Okay. States, even if you look at it in that sense, a Vaishya is one who distributes resources. So it is most actual businesses are distributing the resources. Okay. Kshatriya means you fight. Okay. But the thing is, so whatever you do, the intention is, it's no, I have learned to be a fisherman, I will be a fisherman. You know, that's also right. That's also okay. But the thing is, he did not deviate. The thing is, even the role of presidency came to him. Others recognized him and gave it to him. Okay, it is not that he didn't say, I have ambition to become president. I think whatever situation he was placed in, he did the best. Okay, and he had high regard, even though he claimed himself as a Muslim person, he didn't have any problem recognizing people from other traditions as people from whom they could learn. He may have not adapted everything, but he picked up principles which will improve in the for pursuit of his own life and religious or spiritual practices. Whatever will complement it to take it to a higher level, he adapted it, is my understanding. So,
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So, but the exceptions are always there, but the exception should not become the rule. Okay, I think.
But brother Sairam, Dr. Abdul Kalam was not defined by his religion. He was not that narrow-minded because he grew up in a very multicultural India, yes. And being Muslim did not define him like he was Muslim, because he used the religion to the best of his advantage to guide him, but then he also had other aspects in his life that defined him, not just the religion. Because if you see the roads in Delhi, you know, there was a very famous road called Aurangzeb Road, and Aurangzeb was also Muslim, and they had to go through a lot of politics and a lot of unrest to change the name of the road from Aurangzeb Road to Dr. Abdul Kalam Road. Yes. So from one Muslim to another Muslim, and people took it like, you know, no, we cannot change Aurangzeb Road. But it was not about religion. It was because what defined Dr. Abdul Kalam, because he was way beyond so many confines of the society. And I don't think our culture defines who we are. And I think, like I call it Sai religion, how Baba tells us, you know, it's one humanity, and it's the religion of love. And there's only one religion, actually. I'm sorry, I'm going too much into it. If you've heard about the Baha'i religion, that comes a little bit close to Baba's preachings. But the other religions really restrict you. It's kind of like sometimes it's choking. So, sorry, that's my piece.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I think anyone else would like to comment on what sister? I think I will just clarify, sister. See, even our understanding of religion is also very limited for most religious practitioners. That's why Swami says you should become better in your, because Swami doesn't say this religion is bad or that religion is bad, because he says people may not be interpreting their own religion properly and practicing it. It's the same thing. What applies to a Muslim person applies to Hindus also, I think. It is, Swami would say, a religion will give you a spiritual experience. But the thing is, if you think you are practicing a religion which does not give you a spiritual experience, you are not practicing that religion. So because of that, I think that is why Abdul Kalam is an ideal Islamist, was my view, because he did not say, I'm not a Muslim.
Exactly.
He did not make that statement, but he did not, as you nicely put out, the people who have narrow view of what that religion, he did not confine himself to that. And I think that with that actually he exemplified the concept of Bharatiya, which Swami says, in the next paragraph. He was an ideal Bharatiya, and that is why he was recognized by people from other religions also, They, as you rightly pointed out, they did not pick him because he's a Muslim. They picked him up because he is a son of Bharat, who dedicated his life for Bharat, and he stood for the best principles of Bharat as a culture, because he's a person who was encouraged by many Brahmin professors. He knows that even though he was from a different, he realized religion should not become a negative element in one's life, whether it's personal or public. I think that's what I wanted to say. Yes, you are right. He defined himself beyond the definitions of a religion which others used as interpretation.
Yes, you're right.
Thank you, sister. And that's what I think Swami wants us to do as well.
Yeah. Sairam.
Okay, then we will go to the next one. Swami is saying those born in India, Swami uses the word Bharat actually, Bharatiyas.
No, before that, there is the objective vision.
Okay, Auntie.
Yeah, there's a leftover question, objective.
Yes, yes, Auntie, we want to know that too.
Auntie, what is Swami? What is Swami telling in Telugu?
Okay.
Desha.
Bhautika Drupal జరించిన భారత నాయకుడైన గ్రూప్. That's what he says. That's when I don't think so.
వారి దేశ నాగరికత.
Yeah, వారి దేశ నాగరికతకు పునాది ఆధ్యాత్మిక తత్వమును ఆశ్రయించి భౌతిక దృక్పథమున జనించినందుకు భారత నాయకుడైన గోపాలుని పలుకులు. Then he goes to
listen to Gopala's words.
Gopala's voice. Listen to the voice of God, and should give up the objective vision.
Is it Drikpadam has been translated as objective vision, Auntie?
Bhautika Drukpatamuna. Pata is a path.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, it can't be.
There's no other word which comes close to objective.
Objective.
Bhautika Drukpatamuna.
Janinchinanduku, because you are born. So Bharata Nayikudaina Gopaludu.
What is the
So the Bhautika Drikpatam, they have translated as Auntie, give up the objective vision.
Oh, acha.
That is the way. But Swami is saying, give up
objective. Each should give up the objective vision and listen to the voice of God.
See, vari desha nagarika punadi aina
that we have covered.
Ashrayinchi. భౌతిక దృక్పథమున జనించిన
Chinanduku. You are born into a
So, Sairam brothers, can we take like this?
So,
Your
Swami,
five-
I think that's 1 second, brother. The thing is, sister, Swami is not use the word objective. Swami has used the word drikpatamuna.
Drukpatamana is not a translation of the objective.
So, but
Yeah.
then there's no other word, auntie.
So then what would be the equivalent word of Thirupada or something?
Drukpata. Okay, just I think you should refer to the Nighanta Shodhana.
Yes, auntie, I'm just checking quickly.
wanted
Sorry.
Yeah. Drukpatamu. Drukpatamuna. I should have found it earlier.
Okay, no problem. I think that's the question. What is this objective? That's what I think sister's question is.
If you take it in a general sense, objective vision is, but you are looking at the extra outside world and taking the vision of that.
Okay. Drikpatha is a Sanskrit word. Becoming visible, range of sight.
Range of sight.
Drikpatha.
That is objective.
Objective, that's right. What is visible to you?
What is visible to you? It's outside external world is visible to you.
That's why Drikpatha is what is visible to you, whatever you see,
Correct.
whatever you observe. I think from that sense only, that's why, Kasturi Garu, I think that's why he has put it within inverted commas objective.
Sairam,
Yes.
yes, you're right. It's a worldly affairs. You have the vision of the worldly affairs.
Yeah, correct.
Whatever you can see and you want to have it.
But Swami has not the word Jani Inchina.
Because you're born.
That's why. But the translation, auntie, it should give up the objective vision. That's what they have translated it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think so. It's not only the objective vision, give up.
You look at the external world and don't think that it is just the elemental world. Everything is there, pervaded by God, pervaded by the divinity, and listen to the voice of God inside.
So the way Swami, auntie, I will just try to attempt to translate that, and then we will see. So Swami is telling everyone has to have as foundation the Adhyatmik. I am the Atmic principle. And because you are born, wherever you are born, in this world, Drikpatama means you're born, people are objective, people are looking at you and saying, you're born in this condition, this, okay? And Swami should, because you are born in Bharata, you should listen into the words of the Lord.
That's
what Swami said. So Gopal, actually, that word is also not to be. Swami said, listen to the Gopala's words.
Yeah.
Because you are born in the Bharata, listen to the words of the Gopala.
He is the leader of Bharata. Bharata Nayikudu. Bharata Nayikudaina Gopaludu.
So, Brother Tasan, you were about to say something. I'm sorry.
So can we take like this? If we have our five senses supposed to be with the instead of going out objective vision, you're supposed to use it for listen to the God. If we take the tongue, it can be done two things, eating and talking. But your words and everything supposed to be towards God. Same thing, other senses too. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. See, I think the reason Swami has Swami has used the word Drikpatha and Kasturi has translated it slightly differently. Because what happens is we will discard where we are from, and we'll say, let's be objective. Okay, let us not let it define. That's the common approach for people. Saying, even if Krishna said something, we will say, let us be objective. You understand? So Swami is basically, you are born Bharata, the Lord is the king, or Nayaka, the leader is Gopala. We have to listen. Is something like that, Swami said. If you want to be a Bharatiya. That's my understanding.
One more this thing I would like to add. Druk means you're the person who is Druk. Drishya is the one which is outside.
Okay.
So Druk Drishya. If you can take that word in such a way, whatever you are witnessing outside in the outside world, don't take it as but it is the manifestation of the divinity. Try to take in that way, and then intrinsic view also should be taken, and listen to Gopala, our Hridaya Vasi, Bhagawan Sri Krishna. Sai Ram.
In the next paragraph, those who are born in Bharat should deserve the privilege by listening to the voice of God.
Leader of God.
Yes.
That's it. Gopala.
I'm sorry if you could just retranslate that part. So you said that part that says should give up, if that part is not there?
Not there.
Can you translate again? Sorry, what does that part mean with the Drig Patamuna?
See, Swami says, Vari Vari Desha Nagari Kataku.
Hello.
No. So each person look at the Desha, the place where they are, and the civilization in which they are placed. Okay, and they should look at it and take the Adhyatmic foundation of that culture, spiritual foundation of that. Okay, on top of that, then Bhautika Trikpadamana means, because you are born in the Bhautika, naturally you are born, as Auntie says, Drikpada means from where you are perceiving also, Drik and Drishya. So that means you are born in a particular condition. Okay, so even if we are saying objective, we are only going to view from where we are. Okay, and Swami says, because of that, you have to listen to the voice of God. So it is being addressed to anyone who considers themselves a Bharatiya. They should listen to the voice of Krishna, is what Swami is saying. So he is not saying give up the objective vision.
No.
That is not there.
It's not there.
That's not there.
So
because Swami says you are born in a particular visible situation. Okay. I think that's what.
So is it saying, is Swami saying that that we would, because of our conditions that we're born in, our vision is narrowed, so listen to God, like that kind of thing? Or?
I think so. I think that's my understanding. So I think that's why, it's very difficult to translate that essence into English. I think that's why, Kasturigari has done what he has done.
Yeah.
So that's why even the objective he has put within bracket comments.
Hello, Vita.
So Sai Ram, brother, so can we take like this in Geetha? So Arjuna doesn't want to fight because of the objective vision. So Lord Krishna is saying, listen to my word. Thank you, Sai Ram.
I think, I'm sure Swami this will become more clearer. I think we will have questions and Swami will answer. So I think for the time being, we'll just say that we should listen to the voice of God. Okay, if Swami has said something, Swami has said it. We cannot even analyze. I think that's what Swami said. But I think spiritual foundation, I think, Kalyan, your question was, can we do it in this country? This is the way it is done. Is there a spiritual basis for it? I think we should ask that question. What is the spiritual basis for that practice? And what are we giving up for that? Also, we should ask. So basically, we have two practices, which is beneficial, which is better. And if that becomes a debate, then we just go with what Swami I said, my life is my message. Swami said, what I've done, you just do it until you come to understand why it is good. I think that's the way I think we can take. That's where I think you are talking about conflict. When there's conflict, listen to the voice of God. Gopala, listen to Gopala, I think Swami wants. So then we can go last paragraph. We'll go. I think I can't believe that we were still on this slide, but it's okay. I think the last paragraph, Swami is going to details about every single thing. Every single thing. And they should be manifesting divinity, as Swami said.
Yeah. Brother, we learn at the beginning itself, the state of mind, we cannot understand much of the Geetha, right? So that's why we are taking time now.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Thank you.
We should, there's no point in rushing through with doubts. Swami has said every word we utter, every letter they write, every wish, korika, wish they entertain, every thought they frame, every act they do for the winning of gross things. That means whatever we want to earn in this life, such as food, shelter, health. Whatever we seek, again, that should be manifested. Anyone would like to comment, please?
Brother, why Swami has said about those born in India, but
Swami,
should deserve the privilege of listening to the leader of God, Gopala, which is for everyone, isn't it? I'm just asking.
In my understanding of that sentence is that when you listen to the word of God in everything that you do, then you deserve the privilege to be born in India.
That's nice, yes. When you listen, then you will feel like that you were born in India. That's nice, thanks.
What did you say, sister?
Oh, I thought like just reading that sentence, I think that what the sentence is saying that only when you do all these things, when it manifests the divinity in every word you do, every letter you write, then you deserve the privilege to be born in India. I think that's what it's saying, that sentence.
Yes.
Because they should deserve the privilege to be born in India by listening to that, and then the rest of the paragraph.
Yeah,
Maybe Telugu would be
Sanatana Dharmam.
So, Sairam, brother, the other reason for the deserve the privilege is most of the avatar all born in India. It could be Krishna, it could be Rama. So you have the privilege and you have the deserve for that one. Thank you, Sairam.
See, Swami has used the word Manava Jatik
Manava Jati Kantaku.
Antaku.
To
Velugu Jupa Galu.
the humanity, to the whole humanity. Manava Jati Kantaku, Antaku, Velugu Chupagalanu. He can show the light, he can lead the others also.
Yes, that makes sense too.
Shanti Dutei Manava, he becomes a peace, messenger of peace to show it to the humanity.
I think, Auntie, the question is, I think the word Bharatiya has been translated as those born in India. Is it?
Oh, she has only then Indian domestic.
Janiyanchi.
Janiyanchi.
Janiyanchi Nagaduku, Bharata, I think it's from there.
Yeah, correct. See,
I think we all should understand, Swami gave a lot of importance to Sanatana Dharma. Okay, I think we should start from there.
Yeah.
Because Sanatana Dharma did not
followed
not
by Indians.
yeah, it's not only for Indians. That philosophy, which was practiced in India, because the way the Vedas are written and so on, they never excluded any form of belief. Okay, and Swami wants us, that happened because they saw the divinity inherent in everyone. They even saw the divinity inherent in every religion. I'm talking about that kind of thought process. And Swami says we need to come to live that, and only through that process we can distribute that knowledge, that light, to everyone in this world. Our Velugu, we can show that light to the entire universe, is what Swami is saying. So when we should understand what is that Sanatana Dharma, which is basically accepts everything as valid without giving up one's own. Sometimes the problem, especially in the Western world, I would say, I think because we are in the Western world, they think if you cherish what you have, you are excluding the other. It is a tendency which everyone feels. For example, they would say, in certain religions have become so institutionalized, if you do not belong to that, you are outsider. Okay, so what if you believe, if you are a devout Christian, they will say you are excluding everyone else. If you're a devout Muslim, you are excluding everyone. That's the view is taken, because it's true those religions are thinking this is the only way, everyone has to subscribe to this. Sanatana Dharma is not that. Okay, so what happens when we wear that type of hat? They will say, let us remove everything so that no one feel excluded. Okay, so let's take, I think because it's a pertinent question. For example, we have the forms of God in an altar. Do they belong in the altar? In US in Western world is the question asked. Okay, they will say there are many people who are Christians or Muslims. If they come, they will not feel at home. I think this is so what is the culture of this country is a question which is asked. Okay, I think that is where I think Kalyani you're coming from. How do we choose which one? Okay, the thing is, according to Sanatana Dharma, you can have a Ganesha statue, you can have any statue. It is all spirituality. So if a person who does not subscribe to that, come to that environment, and they start redefining what that place is, then it becomes a problem. See, many people say, what is happening in Prashant Nilayam is all Hindu. If what is happening in Prashant Nilayam was Hindu, why would other religious people go and feel at home there? Okay, but Swami didn't say, okay, let us not do anything so others can feel at home. No, every day there's Omkaram Suprabhadam, every day there is bhajan, every day the puja is going on inside the altar. But other religious people come and watch. See, they never felt excluded. Because Swami didn't say, see, if we take Prashanti Nilayam, Puttaparthi is about 50% is Muslim. Puttaparthi, 50% is Muslim. The mosque was built by Swami in Puttaparthi. And those Muslims don't come inside and pray. But Swami didn't say, okay, let us stop all this so that they will also come inside. Okay, if he said they don't have to. If they are comfortable, they can come in. No one was barred from coming. But he didn't say, oh, the 50% of the population is going to be excluded. We should not allow this yajna going on. Veda Purusha Saptaha yajna. The Muslims could have said, oh, Sai Baba is all. Thing is, if they came and said, we want to sing, do our own, they would have been allowed, you do it. You're not excluded. But I'm not going to give up what I believe in to make you feel comfortable because of your exclusionary view. So your exclusionary view is fundamentally wrong. Okay. If you're going to pander to that exclusionary view, then neither you become better nor I become better. So it's all about inclusion. Means nothing is excluded. You know, Swami said, okay, yajna going on. If a Muslim person comes in, you say, just watch. You think of your Allah, you know, it's okay. So that is how all religious people came. This is the Indian Sanatana Dharma, Bharatiya. You do not give up what you, it's like, you know, in North America, you know, people, children will say, don't wear sari and come to school. You know, nothing wrong, because it is our own certain complex. As long as you are dressed, you know, with modestly and, you know, with grace, everything is acceptable. But sometimes we are trying to inculcate, we are pandered to certain narrow viewpoints and say we will give up everything, then we are adapting the culture. That means we don't even believe that everything is the same. Swami will say, if you are a Muslim, no problem. If you want to learn Veda, Rudram, you learn if you want. Nothing wrong. I'm not telling you to stop reading Quran. Okay, you read the Quran. If this person is chanting, if I am a Hindu person, I have learned Rudram. If I want to learn Quran, Swami is not going to say stop it. See, that is Sanatana Dharma. I see, if anyone wants to know about all religions, how to practice it, they should read Sathya Sai Vahini. Swami, in no uncertain terms, Swami is not minimizing the role of Sanatana Dharma. He says Sanatana Dharma belongs to everyone in this world, but it is not practiced everywhere. It is only practiced in Bharat. I have come to make Bharatiyas practice it so that they can take that philosophy to the rest of the world also. Not to convert them, into Hindus, but you let them, you can be side by side as long as each principles you adapt is an Adhyatmic principle. I think that is the point from my understanding. The detailed discussion means we have to read Sathya Sai Vahini. Okay, Saira.
Brother,
Sorry.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
I don't know as interpreted by my mom, and I believe that, but I don't know how far it's true. But I was taught that Sanatana Dharma is a way of life, and being Hindu or believing in Hinduism doesn't mean that you are born a Hindu and you're Hindu, but you don't convert people how people convert to their other religion. That's the truth, right?
That's the truth, sister.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You can see Swami is for everyone adapting principles which are spiritual nature from somebody else. It's like, you know, if nuclear science is there, nuclear science actually belongs to the entire world.
Yeah.
Nuclear power, but you know, many countries may not have. So only the people who have can distribute that knowledge to others. So if I say, you know, that it only belongs to America, I'm not going to use it, means that is my own, you know, ignorance. You know, if technology of car is there, we don't want to see if people want to fly planes, they have to go and import it from countries which manufacture.
Exactly.
If I say no, in our country we are only riding in bullock cart, I will you know, go only in that, means that is a choice. And I will say no one should. So I think it is Bharatiyas, basically you don't convert because you don't think you have to start worshipping Krishna, who I worship, want to become salvation. No, it is not. That is not Sanatana Dharma.
Yeah.
Which you are right, sister. It's because it was, religion was not a narrow wall built to separate you. I think that's the difference. And as you know, people took objection to when Swami formed the charter and he said Sri Sathya Sai organization is for the propagation of Sanatana Dharma. People took objection to that. And you know, they said, oh, but Sai Baba is trying to convert everyone into a Hindu.
No, never.
It's not.
No.
Because Sanatana Dharma, you can exist as you are without changing your identity.
Yeah.
by accepting everyone else.
Yeah.
And the definition given by all our scriptures is Sanatana Dharma is a way of life. How to
Yeah.
lead a exactly, that is the definition.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sai.
It's 4:25. I think we are about, at least we'll close in another 5 minutes. If there are any questions anyone has or comments, you would say. I think because it is going to be a very slow progress, but I think it's good to spend and discuss, I guess. Otherwise, we will just leave things. And Swami, see, for example, Swami assists what you eat, where you live, what you wear, everything is, I don't think it comes through properly in the translation, but in Telugu, it is very, very clearly Swami said.
So Swami even says what you wear. Can you please translate all that?
Yeah, Auntie, can you just read?
Yeah. Gopaluni palukulu krolina varai. You have to listen to Gopala's words. Prati pani anduno, in every action. Prati mata, in every word that you speak. Shruti vrata enduno. It is written in the Vedas also. Prati bhavamu. All your
Feelings.
Feelings. Prati korika, prati desire. Kadako arogya aharamulanduno. Even in your
health and food.
Food and Daivatamu tandavimpa cheyavalsindi. Divinity should be manifested in all the things, whatever you do. Appude mana Bharata Jati tama sanatana dharma swarupamunu prapanchamunuku chupi. It can show it to the whole world about this Sanatana Dharma. Shanti Dute, a messenger of peace, Manava Jati Kantaku, for the whole humanity, Velugu Chupagaladu. It can show the light. Sanatana Dharma Karmale, Chebunina Yetti Klishta Paristutalainanu, Edurgunagala Atma Balamu Chepurunu. Those who follow this Sanatana Dharma, Adhyatmika Tattva, they feel they increase their Atma Bala to face any kind of challenges in life. Encounter all crises. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sai Ram, this is Akku Auntie.
Yes, Auntie.
Just a word of appreciation. We did this Geetha Vahini when we were having study circle at Scarborough Center. But now we are going very deep into every aspect, every word, every philosophy. I thank all the sisters and brothers who are asking questions to clarify your doubts. And I thank Mani Bhashyam and Aruno for giving us a clear picture, clarification after clarification. Thank you very much. May Baba bless you all. Bye.
Sairam, sister.
Sairam, and I think Swami also gives a definition for Bharat, right? Doesn't he break it down?
Bharata. Yes.
Can you please explain that part?
So Swami has given multiple meanings for Bharata. Bharati means, Bha is supposed to be not. I will give you one or Auntie, you want to say?
No, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I will say then. See, Bharati. Bha Swami says Bhagawan. Rati means one who is engrossed. One who desires for the Bhagavan is a Bharati. That is one definition. Okay. Then, Auntie?
Bha means light, illumination.
Illumination.
Yeah. Rati means the one who is, how do you say?
Engrossed in it. Auntie?
Engrossed in light. The Bharat is the place where which is showing its light to everybody. That also can be taken as a meaning.
So, like the word Bhaskara, there's a word in English for sun, Bhaskara. Bha means light. Kara means he makes everything bright. So, okay, so that's one way. Then Swami will say Bhava Raga Tala. Okay, that also Swami will say. the bha means your feeling should be pure. Okay, then raga is, Swami will say, the affinity towards anything is raga. Tala means, Swami will say, you have to keep time, that means discipline. So a person who leads a life filled with heart and engrossed in the activity and attached to that thing, with that feeling, and then you perform everything with the disciplined manner, is a Bharatiya. So like Swami has given hundreds of definitions for this actually.
Especially during Bharatanatyam, they always say, Bhava, Raga and Tala. All the three should be there for the Natyam to be complete. Bhava is emotion and whatever you show. Raga is the affinity to your own culture. I mean, your own art. Your own art, you have to be engrossed in it. And then Tala, rhythm should be maintained. Bhava,
so what though it applies in music for the feeling and the beauty with which they sing, the notes, raga, and talam is the time, count. Swami says that can be applied to every field of activity. Like, if you're going to do your work with feeling and do it very beautifully in the best order, which is raga. Then he will say, do it properly with the appropriate limits and boundaries so that you don't miss the misstep, no missteps. So Swami says the Bhava Raga Tala has to be applied to every part of your human endeavor. And a person who lives like that is Bharatiya, not necessarily born in India. It's like the Brahmana, if just because you're born in a Brahmana family doesn't become a Brahman. If you're born and you're doing something and then you're taken up another Varna. So it's like that. So your activity, your actions, your feelings determine who you are. Your characteristics determine who you are. I think that applies to Bharatiya also. Not necessarily you have to be born in India. All of us who are reading this are becoming Bharatiyas. And that's Swami's. Brother Dasan, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, that's third paragraph, brother. The last sentence, I like it because of the Dharma alone can confer the strength of spirit that can encounter all crises and achieve the victory. So you don't need to do other sadhanas. If you follow the good Dharma, whatever assigned to you, you can encounter all crises and achieve the victory. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mani Aunty. Today I learned a different meaning of Bharat. I always thought maybe it's a name itself, maybe but today I got the breakdown of the meaning. The Bharata, that's a really good the explanation. Thank you so much, both to Mani Aunty and Brother Aruno. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Swami. And others. We are just male women, just delivering something which we
are repeating Swami's words, that's all.
We have to thank the instruments too. Thank you.
Sairam.
Okay, so we'll close it today. It's 4:35, so hope it's okay.
Sairam.
We'll continue from there. Om Samastha Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastha Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastha Loka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.
Jai Sai Ram.
Sai Ram.